Now, former South African President Jacob Zuma, who faces charges related to alleged bribes paid to him by a French arms company, Thales, during the multibillion-rand arms deal in the late 1990s, has applied for a permanent stay of prosecution. The former South African leader has said the charges against him were part of a conspiracy which formed a politically motivated witch hunt. Now, he resigned last year amid intense public pressure after 9 scandal-plagued years in power and charges of committing 16 counts of fraud, racketeering and money laundering.
Exactly, Jerry. President Jacob Zuma is calling for charges be dropped against him, as that's the co-accused the French Thales group. Now, the group has reiterated that they were not aware of any violation of the law, pending the outcome of the court expected in the coming hours, Jerry.
Indeed, Ruth. The hearing is set to last until Friday, so we look forward to tomorrow for that hearing. And joining us now to talk about this is Carlos Lopez, an economist based in Geneva, Switzerland. Carlos, thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. First off, Zuma and his lawyers say that the corruption charges against Zuma are a witch hunt. What do you make of this?
Well, one can easily understand that the President Zuma and his defense team have to do their utmost to try to convince the courts that what is going on is really more than the usual appetite that the judiciary will have for a common citizen, given the prominence of his role and given what he has been involved with. But this being said, President Zuma is facing a number of charges that are not limited to the specific case that was assessed, which is a case relating to possible bribes by arms dealing affair. He's facing hundreds of more accusations, and this is just one.
Carlos Zuma's lawyer stated that the prosecution had committed a serious violation of the Constitution and that judges should consider, his request by dropping the corruption charges. Is this possible?
Well, it's for the courts to judge, and the constitutional arbitrations in South Africa have been undisputed each time they were issued. So the courts will find out whether this is the case. It's normal for the defense team to try. But what I think is important to underline is that this is just one specific case that the defense team is considering as basically being too long under trial, almost 15 years. And it's not necessarily the end of the problems for President Zuma, even if found that this particular one was not to be the subject of further proceedings.
Carlos, do you think that there's been a serious breach of constitutional process by the National Prosecuting Authority regarding the corruption case on Zuma?
I think it's fair to say that the National Prosecuting Authority of South Africa has been under fire for doing a number of things that here and there are considered unconstitutional. This is very much related to the fact that the National Prosecuting Authority is basically appointed by the President, and therefore one can imagine that in this specific case, it is the person that appointed these authorities that is now questioning them, which is the case of President Zuma, because he has been in charge. He has appointed the former and the current national prosecuting agents, and therefore I think it's a bit his own making, if you want, that he has perturbed the normal functioning of the National Prosecuting Authority.
Carlos, the ruling African National Congress in South Africa is committed to economic recovery and the fight against corruption. Do you think that officials accused of corruption in the government will receive a fair trial?
Well, what one can say is that President Ramaphosa has made his campaign for the just held elections based on that promise. that is going to take the rotten out of the administration, that is going to be very clear in not allowing state capture to be pursued. He has been instrumental in creating a number of investigation commissions that are now looking into different aspects of what is called state capture, which is basically an expression in South Africa that is related to corruption related to public resources. And I think there is a sign already out there that, people are being prosecuted and people are being chased away from different functions because of their involvement with different corruption situations. So let's just hope that will continue.